If you're using AI like a search engine, I hate to break it to you, but you're using it completely wrong. This video, I'm going to show you how to organize your ChatGPT and create it in the terms of a system and not just a search engine. So, the reason we're doing this is because one of the biggest benefits of AI is the fact that it can hold memory. And because it can hold memory, it's able to get more context about you. Think of it like talking to an old friend versus talking to a new friend. Your old friend will know a lot more details about you because they've known you a lot longer versus a new friend where you have to retrain them, tell them the whole narratives all over again, etc. So, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a ChatGPT of a third grade teacher. We're going to go through all the conversations and we're going to start organizing the conversations into projects. So by the end of the video, you'll understand why it's way more beneficial to make your ChatGPT a system and not a search engine. So stay tuned and let's get started. Okay, so here we have our ChatGPT account for our user. And as you can see, it's a free account, which is perfectly fine. You don't need to have a advanced account to organize it this way. So let's just go through the chats to get an idea of this person, and then we can organize it based off of what they are asking ChatGPT. So one thing we already know about this individual is they are a third grade teacher. They are a mother, so that means that they are a female, and they are in their mid 30s. I'm not sure if it would be mid, honestly, 30s is 30s, so let's just say mid 30s. Okay, so we know these things about this individual. We just don't know anything more specific, and we'll find that out by going through their chats. Okay, so first chat, quick meal ideas. Love it. Very useful for recipes. Okay, this is interesting. Sorry, I'm so scattered today. Anyway, about that recipe, never mind. Okay, so I think a lot of people who have very busy, chaotic lives end up using ChatGPT for just cognitive offloading, just so they can maybe get grounded or situated, and that could be what this individual is using it for. Okay, next chat. Emma. Emma wants to quit piano, but we already paid for 6 months. Do I let her quit or make her finish? Okay, let's see how chat responded. First, figure out why Emma wants to quit. Don't let her quit immediately. Let her quit or pause. Middle ground, what works surprisingly well. Finish the paid period but lower the stakes. Okay, so what I appreciate about this is it's not saying make her quit or don't make her quit. It's having the user come up with their own solution, which is actually very healthy. So, okay, that's a pretty decent response. Okay, now aortic valve surgery recovery. What's the recovery time for aortic valve replacement surgery? This immediately tells me that the user has somebody in their immediate circle, family, friends that has to go through some heart surgery. Okay, email tips. We never got the permission. Okay, that's another family one. Kids. Okay, now we get more context. Hi, Dr. Mitchell. I'm following up about mom's referral to the cardiologist. This is the third time. So it looks like their mother is going through some heart conditions, and this individual might be their primary caretaker. So let's keep that in mind as we keep going. Okay, savings versus debt. This is very common where people use ChatGPT for financial help. I don't want to say help, but just to talk out their financial issues. Okay, my husband thinks we should put more into savings, but I think we should pay off the car first. Who's right? Okay, so another solution that ChatGPT is not giving directly, but is letting the user come up with. Okay, Mother's Day crafts. Okay, here's a teacher question. Recipe again. Is it manipulative to tell my sister that she doesn't help with mom more? I'm going to burn out. Okay, so this is very interesting. We're starting to see a narrative now, a narrative for this individual and their situation with their mother and then their sister and how they might be feeling. So this is something to remember as we organize. Okay, organize class and library, budgeting, cardiology. Okay, so we've only gone through a little over a dozen of their chats. I already have an idea of the types of folders that this individual may be wanting. So let's continue this and let's start actually organizing their ChatGPT into a system now. Okay, so here we have the website organizemyai.com, and if you would like to follow along with me and use this resource as well, just scroll all the way to the bottom and locate where it says From Knowledge to Infrastructure and click on Free Reading Guide. So just read guide. Let's click on this, and this is a guide that we'll be using, and it goes through what the guide is for, how your AI actually works, so it gives you a little bit more context if you want to read, and then the 5-step cleanup process. So we already completed step 1 where we look at the mess, so we understand what the gist of the AI is using. So what type of conversations are you having with your AI? And then we're going to create our folders. So let's go up here where it says projects. And the first project, we're just going to do meal planning. Create projects. Okay, so now we have our folders. We're going to go and we're just going to move all of these into the appropriate folders. So we have quite a bit of conversations. I'm going to do this off camera, and I'll be back once everything is organized. Okay, hi. So I'm not done organizing, but I wanted to show everybody a very specific use case for when they're organizing. We have this conversation where the user entered, "We never got the permission slips back from 4 families. How do I follow up without being annoying?" So would this go into work or would this go into personal? That's the question. I would personally say that this should go into personal because the user used language that referenced their emotions. So this would be something that is not very necessary or useful in the work folder. So we're putting this context in personal and not work. Okay, welcome back. I have organized all the chats into various folders now. And what ended up happening is I changed kids' school to just kids because I noticed this mom was giving random details about her kids. So it wasn't just school stuff. She was asking, which boots should I get my kids? How do I explain long division? What is a good gift idea? Mother's Day craft ideas. Oh, okay. Actually, this belongs in work. Okay, so we just moved that to work. Okay, let's go to personal. As we can see, there's some very nuanced conversations in personal. In this one, she says, "Emma has a birthday party Saturday at 2, but I also told Mom I'd take her to get her blood drawn in the morning. What time do labs usually open?" Okay, so this seems like a very fragmented thought. If this user was to create a more complete thought, I'm fairly certain that ChatGPT would have been able to answer it way more completely based off of the context that the user provided. But that's something for the user to discern and to implement. All we can do is advise. So let's just move on. So now that we have our folders or our projects, we need to write background documents for each of them. And if you go back to our guide, it says this is the most important step. For each folder, create a short document that gives all your AI context and needs. And then a very big tip that I want everybody to know is that if you use AI to write your context for AI, that is one of the most useful things that you can do, because you are using AI to write it in a formula that it will be able to understand the best itself. So it's much better than you sitting down for like an hour typing this out yourself. What's best is you do sit down for whatever time period you need, you type it out or you talk it out, and then you let AI create the document for you. So in our case, I have pre-generated these documents, and I'm going to show you what they will look like. So now we have all of our context files uploaded to our projects or folders, whatever you want to call them. So we can move on to step 4 now. Move your important stuff. So this is just a step where you go back and you see if the conversation might be more appropriate for another folder. And this is actually really, really useful, especially if you have a prompt that is covering different folders. So, okay, so it says go back through your old conversations and find the ones that still matter, things you want to pick back up, reference later. Okay, so we have updated all of our projects or folders, whatever you want to call them, with our document files, our background docs. So we have updated them, and if you take a look, there's different documents that we can also periodically update. For example, Emma. This is Emma's background document that we used AI to generate. It has her name, her age, her grade, how she's doing academically, her personality, what works, what doesn't work, medications, dietary restrictions, etc. And it's from the perspective of our user. And it's, as you can see, it says what I usually need help with: scheduling, piano, decisions. So it's basically saying to the AI that these are the things that I want to focus on. Make sure that when I communicate with you, that these are things that are being considered in our context. Okay, so that's Emma. But yeah, we have our documents uploaded. So let's move on to the next step. Move your important stuff. Go back through your old conversations and find the ones that still matter, things you want to pick back up or reference later. Move the key information into the right folders. Add details, start fresh conversations, let the rest go. So basically it's saying to only keep the ones that matter and take away the ones that don't. I'm going to skip this step because this is very personal to our user and I don't want to take away anything that they might think is relevant. So let's skip this step. Yeah, so let's skip ahead to step 5 where it says use it going forward. Before you type a message, take 2 seconds to ask which part of my life is this. So all this is saying is when you are going to type a chat, instead of just typing a fresh chat, make it a habit of going into your folder. And when you're in your folder, start a fresh chat, or you can keep a thread going, and that way you can have as much context as possible, because the way it works is whatever context is in that chat, that's also what's going to be used. So think of it like having long-term and short-term memory. So the long-term memory is our background document that we generated or typed up, and the short-term memory is our conversation itself. So whatever you have in the conversation, that will be referenced again, and that makes it a lot easier for you because then you don't have to repeat yourself. Okay, so let's just take a look and see how this works. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just test this out. And I'm gonna just type a prompt. I'm gonna say something like, Emma decided to continue piano. I am so happy because we already paid. So let's see how it will understand our prompt better now. Says, that's such a relief. Honestly, that's a win on multiple levels. Emma listened to herself. You don't have to deal with the sunk cost. The AI is able to provide a much better response. Okay, so this is our new prompt that we just put into the kids folder. It says, Emma decided to continue playing piano. I am, that's supposed to be so, but it's okay. So happy because we already paid. And what it did is it looked at the context document and it used that to generate the answer. So now we have a way, way more thought out answer. Voila, and that's it. That's all you have to do to organize your AI and get much better responses. So if you would like help organizing your own AI space, just go to organizemyai.com and you can, once again, get the guide, or you can schedule a free 15-minute intake call where I will go through your AI and I will essentially guide you on how you can organize it and just set you up with a little foundation where you feel more comfortable in this. And if you really would like, you can book a 1-hour session with me on my website and we will go through your AI with the fine-tuned comb. So this 1-hour session will be a little bit more advanced because I will go over our 4 pillars for the OAI architecture, and we will also talk about privacy and risk audit. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe for more, and keep your AI organized.